Alrighty, let's see what we've got today. Plunder, and I think this is just all plunder, isn't it? Indeed, very plundery. Draw. Longship is draw. Stowaway. Figurine. I think that's it. Harbor Village is a village. Longship is a village. Gondola. This can be a village, not the strongest. Trash, we got pickaxe and scrounge. And plus buy, lots of plus buy. Sack of loot, figurine, 3 different loot gainers. Most of the loots have plus buy on them. So we got everything we need. The troubling thing that jumps out to me, though, is Frigate. Frigate's a rather nasty attack, and seems doubly nasty with a lot of these, like Stowaway and Longship being the main draw cards. Their duration draw, you start with like a 13 card hand from a bunch of Longships and Stowaways. The first action you play, you're discarding down to 4. That's a doozy. Which makes me think Figurine might actually be the way to go here. Figurine's generally not a very strong card. The problem is if you throw it into your average deck, it draws at the wrong time. You're drawing your buy phase, you draw actions, you draw them dead. You get a constellation prize, you can discard them for +1 buy and +1 coin, but that's nothing special. So usually it's not terribly good. And when it's good, I think it's good when you're building your deck around Figurine. Like you're playing mostly treasures, stuff that Figurine can draw profitably, and then committing fully to the Figurine draw. And that's usually not the way to go, just because actions are good. You want to play with actions most of the time. But in this kingdom, we got Frigate, which says don't play action cards. And then there's a good amount of other treasure support in this kingdom for a buy phase engine. Pickaxe is the treasure that trashes, Sack of Loot's the treasure gainer, King's Cash can triple play your figurines. So I'm thinking the deck is just play with just the treasures, so you don't have to even be bothered by the Frigate nonsense. I think that's the answer. I've got the 5-2. I think that's almost certainly just going to be Pickaxe then, probably. I want a Pickaxe for thinning. I want a bunch of figurines. I want probably just 1 Sack of Loot. If I want more loot than 1 per turn, I can King's Cash the Sack of Loot later to gain additional ones. And then a bunch of King's Cashes. I think that starts with a Pickaxe. To contemplate briefly what you do on a 4-3 or a 3-4, don't think the answer is double scrounge. If you scrounge to trash an estate and try to scrounge to gain a 5, your opponent can interrupt that by gaining the estate out of the trash before you do to gain the 5 before you. Trashing 2 estates leaves you with 7 coppers and an estate. That would be really nice if you draw 5 coppers turn 3 and then immediately trigger a shuffle with the 5 going back into it. But more likely, like 62.5% likely, is you draw 4 turn 3 and then you're triggering a shuffle without having hit 5. So I don't like the double scrounge. Answer definitely on the 4-3 is scrounge once, trash an estate, buy a silver. Now you have exactly 9 money in your deck and exactly 10 cards in your deck. You're guaranteed to hit 5 because you're either going to have 5 and 4, 4 and 5, 3 and 6, 6 and 3 between turns 3 and 4. And one of those is going to be a $5 turn. Or I guess strictly speaking, it'd be like Gondola Scrounge because Gondola is just basically silver, but with like a minor upside of the option to delay it. But I don't have that, so let's just go ahead and click Pickaxe. And then click nothing. This is a pretty fine hand. It's a trash. Hopefully bottom deck and a estate. I'd love to hit 5 again. That's not the most likely, but it's possible. And scrounge, trash in the second estate looks really enticing. Stowaway actually would be okay, wouldn't it? So Stowaway is an action card, so it triggers the Frigate attack, but you can play it in the buy phase, so it doesn't interfere with the figurine stuff, because you can trigger the duration gain activation and play it whenever you want to. And if you play all your treasures first, then buy a duration card, like a Stowaway or a Gondola, to activate the Stowaways in your hand, you can play the Stowaways at end of turn after your treasures are in play, and then the Frigate attack hits too late, because you've only got, like, say, 3 Stowaways left in hand. So you could play with Stowaway here. I think I still like just trashing an estate more than that, but I think Stowaway would not be actually all that unreasonable in this deck. I don't think I want more than 1 Pickaxe, so now it's just going to be figurine. Uh, Stowaway versus Trash a Copper is a bit closer, for sure. I'm gonna click it. I'm not sure it's better than Copper, but it seems a little more interesting than trashing a Copper. Got six, got my stack of loot. I think I just want the one of those. And now I think basically just figurine and King's Cash from here on out. Oof. 5, 6 money here. Unfortunately, I don't quite have the surplus money at the moment to easily trigger the stowaway. I'm gonna keep. No, I'm gonna discard it. I'm gonna discard it actually because that one extra money makes a lot of difference in me getting to 7 for a King's Cash. And what is this spell scroll doing? Probably just another figurine. That seems to be what my deck wants most at the moment. And more figurines. I think I just triggered one of these. I have more than enough draw. I just happen to have bottom decked all my figurines. Maybe actually, I think I'm going to trigger them both because if I have a huge surplus of draw, which I now do, I can King's Cash 3 extra loots and draw them, and that's really nice. Yeah, now we're going places. And top deck King's Cash, top deck figurine. The bot got a long ship. Intriguing. Anyway, the bot committed pretty heavily to the longship stuff. I could consider playing frigate. I've got a staff now, and we said frigate counters longship pretty well. So I don't know if one longship's enough to justify a detour into frigate, but I don't know, like 2 or 3 longships, I might contemplate a frigate. We'll see. Gain the loots. Good job, Jules. You've activated my stowaway. I can safely discard this. I'm going to draw 2 cards anyway, so it makes no difference. I'm triple. How many places do I have? Oh, shoot. This was a mistake. I wasn't paying enough attention. So I played King's Cash on King's Cash. I got 3 plays. I Yeah, I triple played the sack of loot. I triple played the figurine. This last figurine was just clearly a mistake. I forgot I was still resolving a King's Cash. I did not need this much draw. What I should have done is King's Cash one of the like loots, like staff for example, and got a lot more payload out of this. This is just a waste. This was a mistake. Not an egregious mistake or anything. I'm just not getting quite as much money as I could have had this turn, and that's on me. Top deck some King's Caches. I'm gonna be greedy and just take a third King's Cache. I've got a figurehead and a stowaway in play, so I think my odds of finding a figurine were pretty good there. The safer play would be to top deck a King's Cache and a figurine to guarantee that I have what I need to kick off. But I am greedy. Alright, do that. Now I'm severely overdrawing. Can I win here? Probably not. I've got so much money, but piles are not at all low. Hmm. Let's just triple a bunch of these real fast to make my life easier on the math part. Well, I'm getting kind of close to to 64, which would just be a win on provinces. How many King's Cash? I've 2 King's Caches left to resolve, it looks like. I played this one thrice. That got spent on 1 stack of loot, 1 figurine. And I played this one. I got 3 resolutions of this King's Cache. 1 was spent on this, which played these 2 and this. This one played these 2. So I have 1 more to resolve for this one and 2 more to resolve for this one. So I've got so much money. 43, 46. Turn these into loots. I don't know. Let's just go for broke, see what we can muster. And do I trash the figurine? Now that I've got a hammer in my hand, I can also consider King's cashing the hammer, gaining a bunch of gondolas and drawing them. I think that's still less money than just doing this. And yeah, we did get to 64 after all. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. But good job, me. And not that it's exceptionally relevant at this precise moment, but an interaction to look out for in many Scrounge Kingdoms is when you get to this in-game, provinces are low or gone, and you're starting to consider duchies. Scrounge, gaining an estate to gain a duchy, is a way more efficient way to score points, because it's 3 money for 4 points, as opposed to 5 money for 3 points. And so scrounge can actually be pretty significant for scoring purposes. Like if you're coming back from a province deficit, which I wasn't exactly doing here, but you can outscore like a 5-3 or 6-2 province split a lot easier with scrounge in the kingdom than if you don't. Anyways, that's the kingdom. What did Hardbot do? Not a whole lot of anything. Frigate wasn't really an attack versus my deck. 1 long ship and 1 stowaway is not enough draw. It did get thin, which is nice. I think Hardbot often undervalues thinning, but it seems to have trashed quite abundantly here, so that would be good if the rest of the deck had anything to show for it, which it alas does not.